Hello everybody, welcome to Making Chelsea Stand Proud. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome along and we hope you're going to enjoy it. If you are somebody who's returning to this series because you've watched the previous episodes, thank you for your support. Please, whatever you do, leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification button. Costs you nothing, but it helps me here on YouTube and I much appreciate it. Thank you very much. Today's episode, we have Champions League round 16, second leg against Barcelona and a local derby against Tottenham. Hello and welcome to episode 38 of Making Chelsea Stand Proud. My name's Mark and on today's episode, as mentioned in the intro, we have for you two games. First of all against Barcelona in the Champions League round of 16, second leg, and we currently are 1-1 after the first leg, but this leg is away from home. That's the only downside. And then we have a local derby against Tottenham Hotspur, who we don't have too bad a track record against, but well, we just need to keep going at the top of the Premier League. That's all it takes. A little bit of housekeeping before we carry on. If you have watched recent videos, and I'm not sure which ones it affects, but I did record a batch, and in editing, I have found out that we have a problem with the little thing that's down the bottom here, microphone. For some reason, it doesn't seem to have picked up sound properly. It's very tinny and echoey, and it's just not the normal standard that I would expect. So, as I say, too late to actually do too much about it. Once I'd realised that we had a problem, we have had a fiddle with the cables and stuff to make sure everything's all connected properly. In case something wasn't quite right, and rebooted and done all the generic things, done some audio tests, and all seems to be well again. But just a huge apology if it has affected your previous viewing. I hope it hasn't dampened it too much. But either way, thank you very much if you've come back. Thank you very much for coming back. Hopefully today's audio is up to our normal standard. Since you've been with us, I don't think there's a lot been going on. As you'll see, we are still second in the table. Last time you were with us, we played Manchester City and Norwich. I think it was a 2-1 win in the EFL Cup final, retaining the Carabao Cup, and then a 5-2 win against Norwich in the Premier League, which means that we have extended our Premier League run to quite a few matches. The last time we lost in the Premier League was against today's other opponents, Tottenham, when we lost 2-1. I did say that we hadn't lost to them, but we have. That was the last Premier League game that we lost. Only lost one other game since then, and that was the 2-1 loss in the first leg of the EFL Cup semi-final. Yeah, so we've just have a quick tot up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 games unbeaten in the Premier League. Admittedly, we've had a couple of draws, three draws in there. But yeah, 15 games unbeaten in the Premier League, which has re-established our credentials near the top here. Still 10 points short of Manchester City. They got away from us by the time we turned things around a little bit, but we do still have a 9-point gap over Liverpool, albeit they do have a game in hand over us. So I guess you can probably think that that's going to come down to about 6 points at the end of it. But even so, it's still a couple of wins away. So as long as we keep our form running in the Premier League, we should be all right. Tottenham currently in 5th. We can have a quick look and see how the current status is. They've won 2 of their last 5, drawn 2 and lost 1. We have won 4 of our last 5, drawn the other one, which was that game against Southampton, was it? Manchester City having lost 1 of their last 5. That's against us because they've only lost 2 all season, and both those games been against us, and we can't. Just unfathomable, isn't it? Really, when you think about it. Yeah, Southampton was that other draw in the Premier League, that 0-0, but then that was off the back of Barcelona, which worries me slightly because obviously today we are off the back of Barcelona again. So if we put all our effort into the Barcelona game, is it going to hamper us when it comes to Tottenham? Hopefully not. We'll do a little bit of rotation, etc., etc. Don't think there's anything much else to tell you, really, other than we'll get on with the episode and the second leg of this Champions League round of 16 against Barcelona, and hopefully we can get a result and go into the next round. Just to mention, I think I did mention it in a previous episode, but just in case I haven't mentioned it or you've not seen that episode, Barcelona not playing at the Nou Camp. They are playing at the Luis Companys Stadium. That is because the Nou Camp is being renovated. They're doing something to the very top tier, and it's having a little bit of a roof and all sorts, looking very plush. Yeah, that is what is going to happen. So we are at this other stadium in Barcelona for this particular match. Hopefully it might impact them slightly. What we can do is cross our fingers. And here is the team that will face Barcelona in this Champions League round of 16. Second leg, it's Mendy in goal, Chilwell, Rice, Fofana and Azpilicueta are defensive line. Question marks over whether Rice should be in there, but that's what my backroom team are telling me. Play Rice in central defence. He stacks up against Fofana. In fact, he's slightly better than Fofana if you look at that. Jorginho and Kante in front of them, and then Pulisic, Mount and Otavio are behind Havertz up front. Kepa, Garcia, Sterling, Barbosa, Koulibaly, Kovacic, Broja, Cucurella, Hudson-Odoi, Aubameyang, Torreira and Loftus-Cheek are all on the bench. Just to say, Sterling can only play 45 minutes. And as you know, I do not like to start players that only play 45 minutes because it's a guaranteed we need to bring them on. We will need to substitute them. So it rules out one of our substitutes. So it may be he comes on. Depends how the game goes. So he may come on, but it does mean that we have the other options on the bench. Otherwise, it just rules out one of our options. So that's something that I specifically like to do. Right, that's the team then that will face Barcelona. And this being Champions League, we get the slightly different view. They are playing a 4-1-4-1. Lewandowski up front. Danger man if ever. We're playing a 4-2-3-1, of course. Havertz up front. Mendy in goal. And because it's Champions League, we get the teams coming onto the pitch. One thing we're not doing, of course, is playing the music because that would cause a problem. First highlight, we have the highlight at 14 minutes on the clock. Mount with a cross. Oh, and that was headed. Who was that? Declan Rice. But headed it into the side net in post. Mount with the corner. Comes in and headed by Fofana, but the goalkeeper picking it up. I have to stop it because it seems to be going so fast. And the goalkeeper in the highlights stays with us. The goalkeeper rolls it out. Azpilicueta. Otavio, Kante, it's been tackled. De Jong doing the damage. Moving the ball around nicely. Goes out wide to Condé. Condé into the area, and it's gone out for, might have been offside. I'm not sure. Not sure. Pulisic has taken a knock, but he could be all right. He's picking back up on the stats. Jordi Alba with the throw in on that far side. De Jong has picked up a yellow card, and the ball being moved around. Pulisic, Kante, Fofana goes back to Mendy. Rice finds Kante. Kante finds Chilwell. Chilwell out on this left-hand side. Jorginho through to Pulisic. Nice one-touch ball. And it's an own goal from Jordi Alba, I think. It is. Jordi Alba tried to, we'll see it from the other angle, but Jordi Alba tried to cut that out and did nothing more than put it in the back of his own net. Pulisic, lovely ball, and it was only a cross ball, really. I think Jordi Alba tried to find and actually poke it out for a corner, but only managed to stick it in the back of his own net. Pulisic making the cross, looking for Havertz, I think it was. If this is Havertz, it's Kunde. Yeah, it was looking for Havertz. Kunde with a throw in, and Jorginho downs his man. Oh, that ball, Kunde's in there. Mendy makes the save. And as half-time arrives, it's Barcelona 3 shots, 1 on target, 0.37 XG. We've had 5 shots, 1 on target, 0.36 XG. So very similar XG. They've had 55% of the possession. We've had 45. Need to try and up our possession percentage in the second half. And as you'll see, they weren't really in it, but they came back in it towards the end of that first half. Around about the time we scored, actually, which is a little bit of a worry. But hopefully we can hold them off in the second half. It's a 1-0 lead then at half-time. Jordi Alba own goal after 42 minutes, giving us a 2-1 lead on aggregate. And first highlight of the second half. In the first minute of the second half. Did I say first half? I meant second half. Jordi Alba getting us underway. And Jorginho, what the heck did he do there? Won the ball and give it straight back. And Dembele puts that away, makes it 1-1, 2-2 on aggregate. Oh dear. Jorginho won it there. Give it to him straight back. Free kick. Mount with the free kick. It swung in and cleared, and they've Lewandowski comes forward. And Lewandowski, I think he caused us problems in another save. Oh, and Dembele pushing that one over the top. And Dembele with a throw in to De Jong. Crossed in, and it's headed over the top. Jordi Alba with the corner. It's headed clear, but only as far as Pedri. And they are running riot over us at the moment. That ball somehow got blocked. And with 77 minutes on the clock, we have made 4 changes. It's changes all around. Rice has moved forward into midfield. Eric Garcia then comes on for Jorginho. Pulisic, who had picked up that knock in the first half, obviously was causing him problems. So Sterling is on the left side of our attacking midfield for him. Mason Mount, who is also tired, he's come off. Otavio moves in from the right to that central position. Hudson-Odoi coming on for Mason Mount. And Kai Havertz, who really wasn't having a good time up front, has come off. And Abangamang is up front to see if he can secure that goal, which will see us through to the next round. And the ball back to their defence. Stegen, Ranju, Pedri, Sterling, who's come on, has won that ball. Has got it through to Hudson-Odoi. Yes! And the 2 substitutes. Excuse me. I was getting too excited there. 2 substitutes making a fine difference. Sterling stepped in. Lovely through ball to Hudson-Odoi. And Hudson-Odoi puts it away. Throw in on that far side. Chilwell with the throw in. 3-2 on aggregate. 2-1 on the night. Otavio, Kante, through to Sterling. Sterling looking for Hudson-Odoi again. Azpilicueta, Hudson-Odoi! 6th goal of the season. It's 3-1 on the night. 4-2. I think we could be through to the next round, boys and girls. Well, well, well. Inspired substitutions. Azpilicueta, Hudson-Odoi. 87 minutes on the clock. Azpilicueta with a throw-in. 88 on the clock now. Fofana. Azpilicueta. Another one would kill them off completely. Fofana. Oh, he's giving it away to Fatty. But Eric Garcia's there. Azpilicueta. Come on. Fofana now. Kante. Mende. Launches one long. Looking for Sterling. Didn't find it. Bang, bang. Down to Sterling. Otavio looking for Hudson-Odoi. But Alba is there to tidy up. Aranju. Stegen. Christensen. Alba. And they're flowing out of defence and the counter-attack is on. Kessie! And with 90 minutes on the clock, 4 minutes of injury time, they have to score 2 goals in those 4 minutes in order to square it up. And what we've done is Kante is tired and Chilwell's tired. But what we've actually done on this occasion is Otavio has come off. It's Kovacic has come on. Kovacic at the base then of our central midfield as a deep-lying playmaker on defence. And I think we can probably drop Chilwell back to a support role now, just to make it a little bit less of an issue. And that's how we are going to finish the game. And we need to see 4 minutes out. And we can progress to the next stage of the competition. Fingers crossed. And it's all over. We have won our match. 3-1 against Barcelona. 1-0 at half-time. 4-2 on aggregate. Dembele getting what turned out to be just a consolation goal after 46 minutes. 4 minutes after Jordi Alba had given us the lead on with an own goal. Actually say 4 minutes. It was obviously the other side of half time, but they certainly played a good second half, and we managed to get through 2 goals from a sensational Hudson-Odoi who come on as a substitute. He's scoring after 81 and 87 minutes. Inspired substitutions on my part. I'm claiming that. Absolutely splendid. And yeah, what a good game. 9 shots, 4 on target, near enough our 50%. 0.93, 47% possession. They had 14 shots. Only 4 of their 14 were on target. 1.56 on the XG. Well, we have a draw for the next round of the Champions League, boys and girls. And that's coming up next. Well, there's no draw imminent yet because the other rounds of 16 games will be played next week. There's obviously 4 games this week, 4 games next week. The draw takes place after next week's round of games, which means that what we will do is we will start the next episode with the draw for the Champions League quarterfinal. And what usually happens is the draw for the semi-final will happen after that as well. So we'll have those 2 draws at the start of the next episode. So look out for those. And there are the dates already set for us. 2 Tuesdays by the looks of it. 9th and the 16th. 9th and 16th of April for the quarterfinal of the Champions League. So that's what's coming up. Right, Tottenham next up then in the episode. Hugo Lloris is out with a damaged kneecap. Recent history, we lost 2-1 to Tottenham in the Premier League at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. earlier this season and knocked them out of the EFL Cup third round at the start of the season by 2-0 at Stamford Bridge. And then last season we beat them at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but drew 2-2 at Stamford Bridge. So who knows how today's going to go, and are we going to be having a little bit of tiredness after that humongous effort against Barcelona? Let's go and have a look at the team then that will face Tottenham Hotspur in this All-London derby. And here's the team that will face Tottenham in this London derby. It's Mendy in goal, Chilwell, Garcia, Fofana and James our defensive line. Rice and Kovacic in front of them. Hudson-Odoi, who had an absolutely stonking game in those final 20, 25 minutes in against Barcelona. It was 15 actually, I think. So he gets a start. Mount and Otavio playing on the right-hand side because Sterling still can only really play 45 minutes. And as I've said previously, don't like starting a player that I know I'm going to have to take off. Havertz continues up front in front of those the attacking three. Kepa, Koulibaly, Sterling, Barbosa, Cucurella, Jorginho, Broja, Azpilicueta and Torreira are all on the bench. And this is how the two teams face off against one another. Tottenham Hotspur, Son up front, Kane and Taremi are playing behind him in an attacking front three. And then we have a very defensive 5-2-3. Or would you call it a 5-2-2-1? I'm not sure. But that's how they face up. Forster is in goal for the injured Lloris, Bastoni, Romero and Dyer, the back three with Uji and Emerson Royal as the wing backs, and Santos and Bentancur in that defensive midfield. So that's how the Tottenham side look and face up to our usual 4-2-3-1 formation. Emerson Royal with a throw in. Our first highlight after 4 minutes to Dyer, Romero, Bentancur or Bentancur as they move the ball around. We're looking to try and win the ball back off them. We haven't done it as yet, and that one fired over the top. Corner, Douglas with the corner. It's headed out, but only as far as Emerson Royal. And Mendy makes a... I thought Mendy had made a save there. Free kick, Douglas. It's all Tottenham at the moment. And Havertz winning the ball. Hudson-Odoi. We break out for the first time. Havertz is now on a race. Can he score? No, he can't. Forster is equal to Havertz. Corner. Chilwell with the corner. It's swung in. And Otavio wins the ball. He's given the ball away, actually. Hudson-Odoi wins it back, though. And finds Rice. Back to Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi into the area. And as a go, Forster. Nice curled shot. Havertz with a free kick. It's headed on. Mason Mount out there. Cuts it back for Rice. Back to Mount. Mount. Chilwell. Chilwell Havertz. And his 31st goal of the season. Kai Havertz after 33 minutes. Giving us the lead. Mount. Rice. Rice back to Mount. Mount drills it across. Oh, he doesn't. Chilwell puts it into space. And Havertz just had to plant it in the back of the net. We have another corner. Mason Mount on this near side. Swings it in. It's headed clear. Rice is there on the edge of the area. Back to Mount. Mount creates space and has a go, but it's over the top. Chilwell with a throw in. Lots of highlights. Hudson-Odoi fires it to Garcia. James. Bastoni to Douglas. Free kick just inside our half. Kovacic in close attendance, and Fofana makes a tackle. Nothing coming of it, and we've got a counter-attack on. Chilwell comes forward. He's not been held up yet and loses the ball, but wins it back. Chilwell crosses it. Nobody there. Headed James. Fofana, Rice, Kovacic. Kovacic, habits, puts it wide. And first half comes to an end. We are 1-0 at half-time. Kai Havertz after 33 minutes. 14 shots, 6 on target, 2.12 on the XG. They've had 4 shots, none on target, thankfully. 0.21. They've had 60% of the possession, though, against our 40% of the possession. That possession total will pay dividends if they carry on with it. We need to shore ourselves up and try and win a bit of possession back. I suggest that the midfield needs to win some possession for us. We'll see what we can do at half-time. And a throw in on the far side. Chilwell with a long throw. Kovacic heading it forward. Hudson-Odoi bouncing around there, but we didn't come away with the ball in the end. Moving that around, ping-ponging the ball around very, very quickly, which is giving us a little bit delirious. So Garcia managed to get a foot in to put a stop to it, but it's mesmerising. They've got away, and Chilwell tidies up. Mount, Otavio, over the top, Havertz! It's Foster pulling off, and Foster's come in, and he's done very well. And with 75 minutes on the clock, we have made 3 changes. Mason Mount has come off. Otavio moves into his space. Hudson-Odoi goes out to the right. Sterling comes on for Mason Mount and goes out on the left. Kovacic has come off, and Jorginho has come on in central midfield for him. And Reece James has gone off, and Azpilicueta comes in on the right side of defence. And with 86 minutes on the clock, we make our final change. Torreira has come on in place of Rice in that central midfield. Torreira coming on as the ball-winning midfielder. I think that's possibly... there's not much in it. So he will do that, but he can drop down to defensive midfield. Otavio can drop into there. In fact, that's what we're going to do right now. In fact, if we do it this way round, drop Otavio back into there. And then what we do is Torreira. Oh, no, we won't. We'll leave Torreira there. And we'll bring Otavio and that way round. And would they be better off that way round? Doesn't make a lot of odds. So that's how we will finish up the game. And what I didn't tell you was that Broja had come on the right-hand side for Hudson-Odoi. My apologies for that. But we have seen the game out, and it is 1-0. It's not probably the most convincing, but it is a result. In fact, it wasn't bad, because I think they had 4 shots, none on target at half-time, and they haven't improved on that in any manner, shape or form. We've had 18 shots, 7 on target. 2.41, 36%. Bearing in mind we didn't have a lot of the possession, 36% of the possession. We have actually secured that win. Let's have a look at how it affects the table. Well, Liverpool did play yesterday in game, and they won their match, which meant that they were 6 points behind us. But as we've played today, we're now 9 points in front of them again. And they have that game in hand over us. Arsenal having 2 games in hand over us. But not at the moment, causing us any problems. Manchester City now have a game in hand over us. They're playing later today, I think, and are just 7 points in front of us. We'll have a look in just a moment before we round up. And hopefully we'll have the rest of those results in, and we can see what the final table looks like going into the next episode. And before we round up on the end of episode, Manchester City have won their game in hand. If we go back, we can see the rest of today's results. Manchester United only drawing 2-2 with Watford. and they are down in 10th place at the moment. They're not having a very good season at all. Leicester beating Arsenal by 2-0. So Leicester come up into 6th place now, ahead of Southampton in 7th and Norwich in 8th. Manchester City beating Wolves by 3-1. De Bruyne and Haaland getting a brace, of course. Who else would you expect to be on the scoreline? Makes you wonder if there's anybody else there that can score goals. Southampton beating Newcastle by 2-0. They are in 7th place as it currently stands. So it's Manchester City on 80 points at the top of the table. We're second on 70 points. Then comes Liverpool third on 61. Arsenal fourth on 57. Tottenham fifth on 54 points. And in the relegation zone at the moment, Middlesbrough, Watford and Crystal Palace. 8 games to go in the run-in to the end of the season. Who knows what's going to happen? I really don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. Right, we are coming back. There are going to be back-to-back episodes for a little while yet, because it's Sheffield United and Everton. Everton currently 12th in the table, better than they are in real life. But Sheffield United in the FA Cup quarter-final. Can we get through to the semi-finals of the FA Cup? And then a home game in the Premier League. Can we extend 16 games now unbeaten in the Premier League? Can we extend it to 17? We'll find out in the next episode. And then it'll be Champions League. Now we have a choice to make. We either do back-to-back Champions League and do the Aston Villa game offline. It's possible that we do that just to keep the episodes down. See where we are in our other series, because we don't want too many transfer window type episodes too close together. It may be that we do those two back to back on the episode following that. So we do both legs of the Champions League quarterfinal, and then come back and see how we progress. Obviously, depending on how that goes, working out on the rest of the season. It could be that we do Crystal Palace and Arsenal, and then come back for the final 2 games of the season if we don't progress in the Champions League or the FA Cup quarterfinal. That could throw another wobbly on it, I guess. We'll have to wait and see. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification button. That will keep you up to date with all future episodes of Making Chelsea Stand Proud and any new series as they are released. New episodes of Making Chelsea Stand Proud are currently released every Tuesday and Friday at 4:15 p.m. And if you want to keep up to date with what's happening on this channel and more, you need to follow me on Twitter at JustOffsideFM. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you for the next episode. Hopefully the audio has been back up to its normal standard today. As I say, apologies for any previous ones that have been a little bit echoey and all the rest of it. We'll be back on Friday for episode 39. It's an FA Cup quarterfinal and possibly our 17th game in a row in the Premier League without losing. That's what we're hoping for. Till next time, goodbye.